Welcome to the Founders Lounge, where business meets bullshit and everything in between.
We're live, man.
Welcome back to the Founders Lounge, guys. It has been a minute, and I have a new, shorter, I don't know about better looking
Probably
co-host.
just to be one dude that's slightly shorter than you.
Yeah, maybe.
By half inch.
Mr. Steve Bond.
It's good to be here, man. I'm excited to be a part of this with you.
A lot of people don't know who Steve Bond is.
Steve Bond doesn't know who Steve Bond is. No, we've been working together for a long time and built a great friendship through that. We have a background in marketing, started an agency about 18 years ago, was fortunate enough to team up with you and Yvonne at Clean Eats and play a brand development role with you guys and build, like I said, just build an awesome friendship. The friendship's stronger than any business connection we have as far as we're concerned. So it's a real damn honor to be sitting beside you.
So,
Steve
and I were sitting around bullshitting one time, not too long ago, actually. Yeah. And I was like, Steve, I want to kick this podcast back off. We had to take a break. And this podcast has done like kind of an evolution since I started it. It was Clean Truth for the longest time. That was done at our first office warehouse. And then when we moved into our new headquarters, I turned it into the Founders Lounge with the idea of doing more business-related content with founders, business owners, and that sort of thing. Man, I don't even remember how many episodes we did. Maybe 7.
You were committed, man. You dove in deep.
We had a cool little studio set up in our office, but
right here. It's in the shot.
Then the business took off. Our media team grew.
Yeah.
My podcast studio turned into like a photo booth for food photography and all kinds of crap. And I'm like, okay, let's just pause this for a little while and take care of business, and then we'll revisit it again. And then maybe a month or so ago, maybe a little longer, I was like, let's get this back going. We got to find it. Let's find a place to do it or do that. So now we're here in a new studio, new setup.
Which looks killer,
It does. It looks really awesome.
Yeah.
But then we were thinking, okay, content. This is going to be kind of funny because the way that you and I are, like, we're like two little kids in a conference room in a business meeting, and Steve and I are the two 9-year-olds in the corner snickering all the time.
It's gonna be a show, man.
I wanted to bring Steve into the show. I think it'll be a good element to it. Him and I, we'll make you laugh, but we'll also give you some of the best business-related content that we're that we're capable of doing anyway.
Yeah, man. No, I mean, I will say this: you've engineered the podcast. It's there. I mean, Founders Lounge, Clean Truth. I mean, we had a card set. I mean, you've really evolved it. It's more a matter of, like you were saying, like just in talking, what do folks we know and want, connect with? What do they want to hear from us? And just having that, but also making it fun. So it's not just this dry, boring BS that they can get anywhere else. Like we're friggin' knuckleheads, man. So that's the beauty of it.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That card set was awesome, by the way.
The card set, maybe we bring it back. We should do like an anniversary.
Did we ever sell one deck?
I don't believe so. But we have them, man. I would totally, guys, if you want to see this card set, I would be thrilled. We'll have to give some out, man.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It's like it was our version of Cards Against Humanity.
So anyway, before we get started into the real topic of the day, tell everybody about Bonsai.
Yeah, I mean,
that's going to be important as we go through and we start filming these episodes, because we're going to bring a lot more marketing, a different aspect of marketing and marketing your business and content and tips and shit like that. So
yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. I will give you guys kind of the quick pitch. I mean, it's Bonsai Marketing. Like I said, we started about 17 years ago. My background was in media. My wife, her background was when I say media, we were journalists. Apologize. Poor journalists don't have a real good rap these days. But we got out of it because it's a low paying, high pressure gig. I mean, you have deadlines, and if it's 3 a.m., you hit the 3 a.m. deadline, and it's a young person's job. And quite a few of our team at Bonsai actually came from broadcast as well, and that's why they got out of it. So, but we still wanted to tell stories, man. But we said we could do this with businesses, man. How do we build personas and identities for businesses that give them a look, a voice, and a vibe? And that's really what we've developed. And that's what we worked with your amazing ass brand that already had those components in place. We just helped continue to evolve them. And we worked with other franchise groups as well to really build that identity that folks would want, or their audiences want to get closer to and connect and maybe take a next step with it. that's in a nutshell what we do. There's a lot of ways we get to that end result, but it's about building persona and identity for growing brands.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right. The topic of the day, I'm going to call this the tabletop, or as I did a speech on this just 2 days ago, and I titled the speech "The Table."
Yeah.
And I kicked this speech off. I'm going to be honest with you. Yvonne and I do Toastmasters. You know Toastmasters?
Yeah, man. You guys, I think it's freaking awesome. I'm trying to get Sarah to do it. She did it once.
I've told some of my other buddies who speak for a living, and they get paid a lot of money to speak. And I'm like, yeah, we're doing Toastmasters. They're like, what? You don't need Toastmasters, blah, blah, blah. But it's cool. It's a cool group of people. We're learning and we're honing in new skills that, quite honestly, I need. And to be perfectly transparent, it'll help me do this better.
Yeah.
So it just helps me speak better. And, you know, the funny thing is when you do that there, they count like like, you know, when people speak and they're going,
it's important, man.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it kind of helps us get rid of that a little bit. But anyway, I gave this speech there on Tuesday. Wound up winning the speech of the day. Hoorah.
Nice, brother.
But the way I told them, the way I laid this out, and I lay it out here too, we usually do with Clean Eats when we are interviewing new franchise candidates, right? We have what we used to call discovery days, where they would come in. You guys were a part of that. Your team was a part of it, where we would come in and they would literally just be vetting us and we would be vetting them, but we gave them a full day's presentation, front door to back door on the brand. Every department head would come in and give a 15 to 20 minute overview of what that department does, what kind of support they give them, and that sort of thing. And so that event always kicked off with a founder's why. And Yvonne would go through, give her background and let them know, like, hey, why do I keep doing this? And then I would go and do the same thing. But then I started putting a little pitch together at the end of it that I stole from another franchisee. Just being honest there. He knows I did it. It's kind of a running joke between the two of us. Anyway, that guy came in and used this for part of his why. And I'm like, holy shit, that's genius. It really is. It was a really cool idea. So I did not come up with this, but I use it. I kind of took it and used it for myself, and it helped me build foundational tools that are kind of like non-negotiables, as I call them.
Yeah.
In the way that I run our brand. And when I was giving this speech on Tuesday, I'm thinking, we're getting ready to relaunch this podcast. This is a perfect intro back into it to get some foundation laid.
Hell yeah, man.
For people to give them some nuggets. So anyway, the table, what this is we used to do a book club at our corporate office there in Clean Eats. We quit doing it because people quit reading the damn books, and they were like going on YouTube.
I remember going to a few of those. Yeah.
They were going on
like
YouTube and watching the cliff notes and things like that. But anyway, I don't like to read. I don't enjoy it. If I do, it's on a plane or right before I go to bed. And I've read 4 books probably in the last 10 years that I got very good core foundational tips from, that I'm calling those are my non-negotiables in how I run this brand. Mm-hmm. And I utilize them every day. And Yvonne and I took these same 4 and a few others, and that's how we came up with our core values. You guys helped us do that too, as a marketing department.
Amazing.
And building the brand, you guys helped us implement those and put them together. So think of a tabletop. It has 4 legs. Most tables have 4 legs, and these are 4 pillars, if you will, that hold up the tabletop. The tabletop is the brand. Think of it as your brand, your company, your project. It's the thing, whatever you're trying to protect the integrity of and move it forward. And for us, that's Clean Eats right now. And so the first leg of my table is Simon Sinek's book called The Why. We're very big on the why at Clean Eats. Everybody that comes in there, they'll pick up on that in about 15 seconds.
Yeah, that's what you start off with your discovery days.
Exactly. And so what we always tell them when we're coming in is, if this is an investment play for you, if you're here to just sink money into something and you don't have a passion to help people, don't do this. Don't put your money into our brand. Just don't do this. It's not going to be for you. You're probably not going to be successful, because that's a very key part of our culture.
Yeah.
Is everybody's why. Why are they doing this? Why are they here? The second one is, and I told this to everybody Tuesday, this book changed my whole life forever. Not just in business, but everything. Personal, everything. And that's Jocko Willink's Extreme Ownership. I read that book probably 2 or 3 years ago, and a light bulb went off in my head, and I'm like, holy shit, this is like, I need to look in the mirror quite a bit.
You actually had us read it.
Because up until then, man, I was very hot headed. I was very, as my wife likes to say, that I'm still black and white, and I'm very rigid and want things to be a certain way, and don't color outside the box type of thing. And when we would sign new franchisees and they would get open and they would want to do things outside of our system, outside of our, our standard operating procedure, it would really piss me off, man. And it would bug me, and I would just handle it the wrong way. And
you'd come into meetings, you'd be like, I just had an hour-long call screaming because they're putting up a neon sign or whatever stunt that they could think of. But,
right. So I read this book, and I'm like, okay, I need to start taking each one of these different issues and these problems and look at them and say, this is my fault. Clearly I didn't articulate what my expectations were and what the brand standard was or the brand expectation was. And so I'm going to take ownership for this and readdress it from there. The minute I started doing that, man,
it changes everything.
Everything changed. And so that's a key one for me. The next one is, it's a book called Be Water, My Friend, from Shannon Lee, Bruce Lee's daughter. I don't even know why I got this. I don't even know where the hell I got it, to be honest with you.
That was one of our gifts to you at the holidays.
Was it really?
No. I'm screwing with you too. That'd be good there.
You caught me.
Yeah, I could tell.
I was like, damn, man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've heard you reference this book, though.
But I got this book from somewhere. I can't remember where. And I shoved it in my backpack before we went on a trip somewhere. It was somewhere I was like, I'm going to take a book, read it on a plane. I got this book out, and I'm sitting there and probably in a coach because my wife's cheap and doesn't like to buy first-class tickets. And I grabbed a highlighter and immediately started highlighting. And I'm like, I didn't even think I was going to like this, but now here I am highlighting freaking sections in this book. There was one section in this book where this martial arts instructor was teaching this arrogant little shithead kid, right? Kid wasn't listening. He was being a little peckerhead. So he stops the whole class, says, we're going to take a break. He gets the kid and he drags him over to the water fountain or the little water table there and hands the kid a cup, grabs a pitcher of water and starts pouring water into this cup, but doesn't stop. Just lets it keep rolling, spills all over the floor. Kid gets all pissed off. He's like, what are you doing? Why? You should have known it was full. And he goes, well, you've known everything up until now. I thought you were going to tell me when to stop. I thought that was brilliant.
That's awesome.
And so
you do it with my kids.
The message that I relay there to owners and new candidates is we have a standard operating procedure. We have a system. We have a playbook. It works. Come in, utilize it. We're always open to feedback. We're always open to, constructive criticism. Like, hey, have you ever thought about doing this, that, and anything? That's great. But don't do that in the first 6 months.
Yeah.
You look like an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Come in, use our playbook. If it doesn't work and you're here for a little while and you found a better way,
earn a place at the table and then,
pick up a better way to do it. The last leg of this table is Tim Grover's Winning. I've read every one of Tim Grover's books. The dude is amazing. And for those of you guys that don't know who Tim Grover is, that was Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant,
he's
D-Wade, coached all
the
those
star
guys.
Coach, right. Mental wellness and all that stuff.
Yeah. And he came to speak at our convention.
Yeah, he was amazing.
That dude blew the roof off the place.
Yeah.
The book Winning, if you haven't read it, stop what you're doing right now and go order it. But the lesson that I got from that book and how I continue to use the lessons to run our brand, and I kind of advise other people to do it, is don't sit around and gloat and celebrate those wins too long.
Yeah.
Because nobody else is. So Yvonne and I we're actually that way to a fault. Like, we should probably kind of acknowledge the things that we've done a little bit more. We just, I don't know, we're just not built that way.
Well, and with like Tim Grover, he's doing this with like very high energy personalities. He's able to tell Michael Jordan and Kobe, like, if you can engineer someone's mindset that is that accomplished, anyone can read that book and reposition how they look at things.
So anyway, I tell people, don't celebrate too long.
Yeah.
If you achieve something, you achieve a goal, celebrate with your team, have a good time. The very next day, get right back to work because your competition's going to.
Yeah.
They definitely are. I've had a couple other ones, man, but those are the core four. Those are my four
You didn't?
Pillars
Did you? You didn't read them in that order, did you?
No.
Because it's weird. Because you went from why Simon Sinek, which is like it actually progresses. Like first, what do I stand for with the why, right? And then you moved into extreme ownership, which is like, how do I communicate that to get others to follow? It's just interesting how, and ultimately you end up with Grover, where it's like now taking your mindset and training others to. It's just an interesting dynamic, man. That you kind of matured into those books to build your brand.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah, you're brilliant.
No, I'm kidding.
When's your book coming out? You plagiarized all.
We talk about that all the time about writing our own book. I think we're not there yet.
Everyone, listen, man, there's an appeal to it. I was a writer. I mean, I was in journalism. That's what I did for a living. There's an appeal. The discouraging part is that's like that's the marketer's notion for everything these days is write content, because it's easy to self-publish. And the reality is who's going to read it? I mean, if you're going to write something, make it stand for something. Don't just do it because it's a good way to get your voice out in front of people. I mean, you're wasting yourself and your energy doing that. But I think that what you guys have done with Clean Eats and your other ventures, there's a lot we've learned. I told you that already. Like,
we've got a ton of stories, man, that we've never told that would really be entertaining for people to read. It's just not the right time.
No, it's not. But like you guys and what you're doing with consulting some other businesses that you've introduced us to, and now I haven't. They're like, man, what I've learned from Don's F-ups is saving me hundreds of thousands of dollars of doing something that I thought was going to be a good move. And he told me, dude, that's BS. Do not. Like, there's value in that. It's hidden value, but it's there, man. That's what makes it tricky with so many books about that type of thing out there. It's like, who do you believe?
I can't consume it all.
I can't.
I just stopped, to be honest with you.
It's like a buffet of content.
I stopped listening to the podcast. I stopped getting all the the personal development books, man. It's just
there is a gluttony. I mean, there is a gluttony for content. Like there is. I mean, I'm in the industry. I mean, this is I got to be careful how I say this, but to a degree, it's what keeps our agency afloat. Is people can't consume enough. But at what point is you hit saturation and it's like, oh man, I'm just like gonna puke this stuff up. I'm sick of eating.
People ask me that all the time. They're like, man, who do you follow? Who do you listen to? And I always tell them at first, do it all.
Yeah.
Get a taste of everybody, but then find the one that you resonate the most with. Like for me, I still, and people can agree to disagree, but for me, it's Andy. Frischella from St. Louis. I know the first one guy's pretty good. Known him a long time. So maybe that's why. But his style just kind of resonates more with me. There's a couple other guys out there that are really good. Alex Harmozy, Dan Martell. A couple other ones whose style is a little bit more off the cuff.
Yeah.
I guess. A little more edgy.
Yeah.
But man, those older school guys, I just can't do it. They put me to sleep.
There's a lot of them that set the way for all these young guys, though. You're right. I mean, I'm looking at it from a brand and kind of identity development is where most of my reading goes. But like Christo, whose future is his agency, but he's like he's been a big player with how to build identity and then how to sell that. I keep going back to him. But you're right. The guys before him, the Ogilvies, like these were dudes that if you listen to them, you're going to fall asleep. But man, they wrote the book. These other dudes are just kind of rephrasing some of it. That's what we do.
How many of you think are just like to me, Tony Robbins is like the OG?
Yeah, right. That's who my mind goes to with kind of personal brand and business development is Tony Robbins. And then before him, you had, what the hell was his name? See, that's so sad.
Zig Ziglar.
Zig Ziglar. Thank you, buddy. It's like, I mean, he's the godfather that every business development person, at least that I've spoken with, is like, oh, Zig was I got to see him back in the 70s. And then Robbins came right up after, and he's still killing it.
Well, what about you guys? When it comes to foundational non-negotiables or anything like that, pillars, does Bonsai have core values?
We do. I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say that in the beginning they weren't stable. We're a small agency at the time. I mean, this would have been the first 3 to 5 years, as I would say. So probably 15 years or so ago, like we were trying to figure out who we were and what kind of agency we wanted to be. Because in the beginning, we were, full service, which appealed to everyone except us. And we found ourselves compromising what we really wanted to do to hit that full service mark. And I think where we have learned in the last decade is do what we feel good about delivering, not just what we can deliver. That's really important. Now, you guys have seen this with us. There's going to be times where things, hey, shit just needs to get done. I have a lot of friends and clients that will say that, and we can do that. But we want to do what we do with purpose, right? It's so kind of not getting too granular in the weeds, but like functional design, mapping out things that the brand might not see that we do, that like, we know you want to do it this way, but this is why it's not being an idiot within the team. I mean, that's really important to me. There's no divas. I think that is a differentiator for us. I don't want to make this a bonsai pitch, except we got her here. No, she's like the queen. We call her queen. We've collaborated with other agencies where there's one or two personality types that just, they're know-it-alls, they're assholes, whatever you want to call them. And that gets presented to the client side. And we've put our foot down. You are not going to come into a room and dictate. You're going to be respectful. And I think it's weird because we did it just because that's kind of environment we wanted, just like you guys. But I've had clients say, you guys are so enjoyable to work with. We actually have fun with you guys. That's a differentiator. People want to work with people they like. That's why I like Clean Eats. You don't walk into a Clean Eats and feel stuffy, judged. And the reality is, when I went into Clean Eats, I was trying to cut about 80 pounds. I mean, I was a chunky little dude. They call him Uncle Stevie. Walk in, a little Italian uncle. And I was like, I'm going to go in and no offense to the brand, because I've been a part of this brand with you guys. We grew with you guys, not outside of you guys. That's how I look at it. But I always, in the beginning, was worried. I was like, dude, I'm not going to fit in. Don's a massive dude. He's got a bodybuilding core of network. I have some friends, but I never once felt judged. That's the brand culture that you guys have established. So there's a lot of commonality, I think, in between the two that we've done. Probably because we've learned from each other, and I've learned from you guys. Sarah and I are always saying that. But yeah, man. All
right, guys, to wrap this up, I want to leave you with this. So
I wasn't done. I got like 5 more things that are our core culture.
Yeah.
So now I'm joking. Just trying to kill the
you see how
kill the cadence, man. It's gonna be.
You see how the shit's gonna go now? So I want you guys to take this away. Start thinking of what it is that you have, whether it's your business, even your job, even if you're working for somebody. Take the company's fucking core culture.
I agree, dude. I agree. Don't limit yourself. Only business owners. Right. Be a leader.
Whatever you're trying to protect the integrity of, and come up with whatever those foundational non-negotiables are, and set them for yourself and never waver on those. If you do, you're going to be a hell of a lot more successful, I promise you.
One closing question. Would you agree, depending on where you're at in your career, in your business, it's easier said than done early on? Because I mean, I'm being transparent. I had a bunch of high standards that I broke when we started our business, because guess what? We're just trying to make ends meet.
Yeah, shit.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, give yourself some grace is what I'm saying. If you're like, hey, I'm going to put my foot down in my career or put my foot down in my business, do it. Do it with conviction, but have a little grace, because there's going to be moments where you have to pivot a little bit.
Yeah. It's going
right. I mean, like, it's going to
vary from person to person, company to company, whatever, on the timing of that, when that's even possible.
If it's even possible, you're right.
I mean, how old was Clean Eats when we came up with those core values? I mean, they've
morphed. You always had them. They just weren't formalized.
We didn't talk about them. We didn't really believe in them. They were there as a placeholder.
Like 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, 7, 8 years ago. Yeah. So we were a company for 7, 8 years before we even founded them.
And do you not see that when you consult with people? That I think they want what Clean Eats is in year 2. Or people come to me, agencies, they want where bonsai. Listen, we're 17 years, dude. You're 3 years in. What do you got, a gnat?
I almost swallowed a gnat.
Go ahead. It's good protein. And have some grace. We weren't where we're at a decade ago. My God, you would have come in, it was triage. It was just trying to keep up with requests and trying to learn at the same time.
I highly recommend thinking about them right away.
Hell yeah. Formalize.
Do your 3, 5, whatever kind of plan it is. But think about, where do I want to see this in 5 years? And then what's that going to take to get there?
And what's the purpose? Yeah, like don't just set rules for setting rules.
Right.
We have too many. I will say this personally. We have too many brands we've worked with where rules come from the top because that's what you do at a C-suite level. You set rules. There's no identifiable reason for about 50, 60% of them other than, well, this is how this other brand does it. Cut that out, man. Cut it out and do what makes sense for your crew, because the loyalty is just as important as the culture, because that's what builds culture, right? I mean, we've worked together for over about a decade because there's this loyalty culture thing that just keeps going.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So I'll shut up now.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Thanks, guys.